Hello, I've got for you today the July release from Montblanc, the Writer's Edition, a special edition. So this Writer's Edition is an homage to Victor Hugo, the 19th century French novelist who wrote Notre-Dame de Paris and Les Misérables, or The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Les Miserables. And so like every Writer's Edition, it comes in an imitation book with a beautiful relief of the main stained glass window of Notre Dame. So let's see. It says limited edition. I thought this was the special edition. So they do have 4 editions of this pen. This is the 9800. They have a, I think it's a 1700, and then a 888, and then an 8. What's interesting this year is that all of the 4 pens in the series have gargoyles on the nib. So that's unusual that they carry through the same theme throughout all of the 4 pens in the series. So in the box you end up with the service guide as usual, pretty standard, and then a informational booklet. This informational booklet, I liked it quite a bit. For the first time, I'd say they have actually produced a narrative that's quite cohesive. So they go through Victor Hugo's life and describe various elements of the pen and link it back to the inspiration. So I think there are a handful of different elements on the pen, mostly inspired by Gothic architecture, and then one element from, or 2 elements from his books. So I received this pen like this, not in a sealed sheath, just in a regular sleeve, and right away it's a very textured pen. So let's see, as you can see, it has a lot of relief on the barrel. This relief is inspired by the house where he spent most of his exile. So because he was a very controversial and undesirable figure, he was exiled and then spent 15 years there. And where he lived, apparently, he spent a lot of time devoting his artistic talent to redecorating everything. And this particular motif comes from that type of, his redecoration of the house. The pen cap is inspired by the Gothic arches of Notre Dame, and on the artisanal version of these pens, these arches are actually filled in with stained glass window. So very nice. And at the top you see the special edition number. And then let's see, the clip is inspired by the bell clapper from the bells of Notre Dame. And then within the bell clapper there you see a face. I thought at first that it might be Quasimodo, but actually it's Jean Valjean from Les Misérables. Let's see, what else is there? Unlike most other pens from Montblanc, here they just repeat Montblanc over and over again 3 times along the band. At the top there is an inscription that reads, let me see, Chaque homme dans sa nuit s'en va vers sa lumière. Basically translated, every man in his night goes towards his own light. Various interpretations of that, but basically every man is unique, every man has challenges, and every man needs to find his own way. Of course, Victor Hugo, the two main works that he's known for are very much social commentaries, and it's rather sad to see that a lot of his political points remain valid today. Let's see, so there's his signature at the top there. A very nice signature. Very understated, not highlighted, so blends in quite well. And then let's see, I think there's this bottom part is designed to mimic the post where Quasimodo was tied, and there is a trèfle pattern here along the cone that's also taken from Notre Dame. So, like I mentioned, the nib is a gargoyle. Prominent figures in Notre Dame de Paris. I'm very much looking forward to the other limited edition of this pen, which will be coming in a few weeks. So, with regards to the pen itself, this relief here is a bit disappointing because there's no raise on the edge to protect it from damage. So you'll notice a lot on used pens that anywhere there's a raised surface, it's often where it's damaged and will wear out most. Here, there's nothing like that to protect the relief, so this relief will, each time you put it down, will get a bit more scratched. The texture means that it probably will also collect some dust. It might be a bit harder to clean, but none of the edges are sharp, so it doesn't feel like the Writer's Edition for Homer had very sharp edges at the joints where it was supposed to be an imitation of the horse head. Here, this is quite smooth, far more pleasing. So actually, when I first picked it up, I had a tendency to hold it here because the barrel is actually quite inviting. Now, the other thing that's a bit off about this pen is that the point of balance is quite near the end of the pen. So it's somewhere around here, which is quite far back. So when you hold it, when you hold it, it does tend to rest more at the back of the hand. It's, all things considered, it's a very light pen, except for that mass at the back, which is quite noticeable. So let's see, what else? I think that's pretty much all the details you need to get a good idea of what this pen is about. So it's I think a welcome addition to their writers lineup. Very beautiful pen. The first one I've bought since Tolstoy's. All the other ones have been quite disappointing. So let's see. I think that's pretty much it. There you go. The latest writer's edition from Montblanc from July 2020. Hommage to Victor Hugo.